All right, stubbornness. Stubbornness is something we all have. Some are a lot more stubborn than others, but it's something we all have even though we might not want to admit it, right? Confucius once said, only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. So at first, I just thought, okay, only the stupidest of men never change, right? But then I realized, and it also says the wisest. So that got me thinking. And it got me thinking is, okay, maybe it is a good thing to be stubborn sometimes. So in this, I'll go ahead and I'll explain 2 examples of how it is good to be stubborn, and then also 1 example of why it is a bad thing to be stubborn. First of all, we all know Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, one of the wealthiest men in the world. He was a high school, or not a high school, but a college dropout. And he was a dropout because he didn't agree with some of the things that were going on in Harvard. And that's a perfect example of he was stuck in his ways and he didn't want to conform to anybody else. He wanted to be how he was. And he ended up dropping out and creating a multi-billion-dollar company and still one of the wealthiest men to this day, right? But it also says not only men, but it can apply to a woman as well. Women, so like for example, Rosa Parks, right? We all know Rosa Parks. We all know how she didn't want to give up her seat because she was stubborn. She was fighting for not only racial equality, but also feminist equality as well. She didn't give up her seat, and it just goes to prove that because of her actions and her stubbornness, how it changed history in America forever. But the quote also mentions how the stupidest of men never change, and I am a great example of that. My first year at Santa Barbara, I was taking a theoretical mathematics class, and I hated the teacher. The teacher was horrible. All he did was point at the board, kind of click through slides, and wouldn't do any, or give any examples, right? So me stuck my way, just like, okay, I failed this class, it's because the teacher was horrible. I applied for it again next quarter, and I was like, you know what, I already did most of this class, I studied for most of it, and the only reason I failed is because of the teacher. I already know this stuff, I won't study. I'm gonna stay in my same ways. First midterm comes around, and bam, I failed it again. I was like, holy crap, maybe it wasn't me. I was being stubborn, and I need to go ahead and I need to change how I'm studying, how I'm approaching the class subject. And even though I did fail the first midterm, I was able to change my ways, and I ended up passing with a C, but I still passed, and I was able to move on to the next class. So I hope we all know that sometimes it is good to be stubborn if you really feel passionate about what you're talking about. But if you're too stubborn, sometimes you have to take a step back and realize it could be harmful. If there's anything to take away from that speech, I hope that's what you do. Thank you.
Well, you take the topic, you've got a clear preview of what you're going to talk about. You're going to kind of play at both sides, which is okay. The way you develop it was nice. I like the personal example. I think that works really well. It gives you a chance to talk about something that you're familiar with. And the other thing that it allows you to do is continue to be forceful in the way you're speaking. There's not a lot of hesitation, and that's the big advantage that I think you have from the beginning. As you go on, you get up there, you speak confidently, you sound like you know where you're headed and what you're going to say, and you keep doing that. And when you got the personal example, even though you slow down a little bit to talk about something that's a bit different than the other illustrations that you had, it still sounds like you are, this is the point that I'm trying to make. This is really what I'm talking about. And you look engaged the whole time you're talking to us. You look out at the audience. You distribute your contact. Your facial expression is engaging, but the vocal presentation, I think, is the thing that's most clearly engaging while you're speaking to us. The only thing that I think might be something to watch out for, and I didn't think it was a big problem. Most of the time it seemed fine, but there is a little bit of movement. It's kind of the body shifting kind of thing. It's not like you're dancing around or you look nervous or anything, but it just seemed more frequent than was natural. But that's a hard line to draw, and like I said, it's just a minor thing that I'm pointing out that I saw that. I'm not sure which it is, whether it's nervousness or whether it's just this kind of unconscious, trying to emphasize points. If it's the second one, it's okay. If it's the first one, maybe something to watch for. Thank you.